Today marks 1,000 days since Ukraine has been fighting for its existence against the invading Russia. Putin's dictatorial rule for the sake of imperial ambitions causes destruction and killing of innocent people. Russian mercenaries who wanted to get rich from the killings became puppets in the hands of the Russian president. Meat assaults on the front line have become commonplace. Russia not only does not spare its soldiers, but also specially forms units of troops to push the Ukrainian defense with the manpower of poorly trained Russians. The Ukrainian military is doing everything it can to stop and destroy the enemy because the continued existence of the Ukrainian people depends on it. Today, I'm going to show you fierce battles from the front line, filmed this week as the Ukrainian military destroys the Russian occupiers. I am Hustler. Let's get started. A Russian armored personnel carrier with an assault team hits a mine, but despite the complete destruction of the vehicle, 6 Russian soldiers manage to escape. The Ukrainian military uses FPV kamikaze drones to completely destroy the occupiers. 3 Russian soldiers try to hide behind trees, but this does not help them either. Another assault group also hit 2 mines. A large convoy of Russian heavy equipment was on its way to storm Ukrainian positions, but after hitting mines, they began to change their route. Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone operators used the opportunity to start destroying Russian equipment and occupiers. Russians tried to shoot down a drone with an assault rifle, but failed. Russian soldiers hiding between the trees were attacked by drone shells. The Ukrainian attack drone Lelika 100 was also used to carry out devastating attacks. As well as a kamikaze drone attack on armored vehicles with Russian infantry. Successful elimination of a Russian assault group. And another armored personnel carrier that the Russian occupiers left in the forest belt. FPV drone collision with an armored vehicle. And a hunt for Russian armored fighting vehicles. And this is the Siversky direction. Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance discovered several units of Russian heavy armored vehicles. Kamikaze drone operators immediately set about destroying the occupiers. This armored personnel carrier was landing Russian troops, and at the same time, a Ukrainian drone began dropping bombs right next to the occupiers. Russian militants and their equipment were successfully destroyed. It is a hub for Russian drone operators. The Ukrainian Air Force carried out an airstrike that completely destroyed the building, along with the occupiers. Kharkiv direction. Here, the Ukrainian military hunted for the logistics of Russian soldiers. Detected Russian armored personnel carrier immediately comes under Ukrainian attack. The target was destroyed and burned. Another Russian truck attacked by a kamikaze drone. The Ukrainian military also attacked the Russian occupiers on their way to rotation. One armored vehicle was successfully attacked. Other occupants tried to escape, but in vain, the armored vehicle was destroyed. And 2 more successful hits on Russian armored personnel carriers with infantry. The eastern front of the Ukrainian border, Russians decide to make a major assault on Ukrainian defense positions. Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone takes off to meet Russian armored vehicles. Russian troops did not even have time to reach the forest belt of the Ukrainian military before they were attacked by drones. A Russian armored tank was also attacked by a kamikaze drone. After the first hit, the tank did not detonate, so it was decided to finish it off with another drone. The armor of the tanks could not withstand the precise hits of the drones. The column of Russian equipment was successfully broken up and destroyed. And here, the Ukrainian military is opening the season of the first snow, ruthlessly destroying the occupiers' armored vehicles, burning them and turning them into scrap metal. Here, the occupiers left their armored truck without even closing the door. The drone operator took advantage of this and made a targeted strike. A similar situation. After such attacks, the armored vehicle burns down in a matter of minutes. An unmovable tank is also a very attractive target for destruction. Kurakhove direction. Ukrainian intelligence spotted a Russian convoy moving to assault Ukrainian positions. Having raised kamikaze drones, Ukrainian operators began to attack Russian combat brigades. Ukrainian drone operators ruthlessly attacked Russians. Russian armored vehicles could not withstand the drone attack. Russian soldiers tried to save their lives, hiding among the trees. Here, a Ukrainian kamikaze drone operator discovered a fully operational Russian T-80BM tank standing in the middle of the field. Most likely, the occupiers ran out of fuel and left it here. In order to prevent the occupiers from using it again, a targeted strike was made, which caused the tank to catch fire and then explode. The tank's turret was torn off by the blast. Kharkiv direction. During the clearing of the village, Ukrainian troops captured 3 Russian soldiers. The Ukrainian military made it clear to the occupiers that if they wanted to live, they had to leave the building with their hands up and without weapons and slowly move towards the Ukrainian soldiers. Only 3 Russian soldiers fulfilled the order. All the others who did not want to surrender and were sitting in the house were liquidated by 2 tank shots. Russian soldiers had a chance to save their lives, but they did not use it. Here, the Russian occupiers, who were riding quad bikes on Ukrainian soil, became good targets for Ukrainian kamikaze drone operators. Russian invaders were successfully neutralized. Russian logistics transport is also an important target for Ukrainian drones. Destroying Russian logistics makes it impossible to supply the occupiers with food, ammunition, and other equipment. Here, a Ukrainian kamikaze drone destroys a Russian bukhanka. Another destruction of the Russian bukhanka. Here the Russian occupier tried to jump out of the vehicle before colliding with the drone. And another Russian armored truck explodes and burns after a Ukrainian kamikaze drone strike. A Russian occupier on a buggy saw a drone hunting for him and stopped and tried to run away, but he failed. Only scrap metal remained at the site of the explosion. A Russian armored personnel carrier disguised as a green forest was not expecting the snow to fall quickly. And then, a Russian T-80 tank came under a brutal attack by 2 Ukrainian kamikaze drones. That's all for today. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with the latest developments. This video was produced by Hustler. See you soon.